Aquarius, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your June tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love, relationship, your career and workspace, and the guidance from the universe for whatever is to come and how to deal with those energies in the best possible way. We'll also pull some cards from your person of interest to yourself at the end. Alright, so let's get started. I do have my Oracle deck here. It's the Wisdom of the Oracle. So let's start with an Oracle message just to give you an idea of what's going to be the focus for this month, what to keep in mind as you navigate those energies. And yes, I know we're already well into the month of June, but bear with me. I just got back. It's only been a few days and I had to deal with so many things to settle in. Also, I'm doing my dance performance tomorrow, so that's another big topic, and just readjusting to the local natural habitat. It is a natural habitat for myself actually, but yeah, it takes a minute. So yes, but I will do what I decided to do is later in the month I'll do some additional videos with some useful information. I'll speak about sun, moon, rising, sun, moon, and ascendant, and the differences, because I still get a lot of questions about that, although that information is in my webinars on personal astrology. I will do probably a shorter video around the North Node. I do have a longer webinar, but this will be a refresher first of all, because I think it's been like 6 months since I did that. So you understand why it's important, why we talk about it, why it's a good idea to check what your sign is, even if you don't do like a deeper dive into what it's all about, the houses and the aspects, the positions to the current aspects, etc., etc. It's still important to acknowledge that for yourself and get you some sort of ideas of where you are and where you want to be, or maybe why certain things just aren't working out for you the way that you've been approaching them, right? It opens your eyes to so many different questions. Anyways, look at that, Aquarius, you got the happy card. It's one of my favorites in this deck. I do have a book here and I decided that I will be reading it as the main oracle messages for the cards because, well, it's been a while since I worked with this deck because I didn't take it with me to Hawaii, and also there's always something beyond like what I see as a reader, and it's still important to also get a perspective of an author of this card, right? What they included into it. So anyways, here's the oracle message for you. Your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening, and be satisfied with things as they are. You're free from the knuckles of longing and able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy moment to moment, for you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside yourself. Your happiness is a result of your being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. Beautiful. All right, let's get into tarot. Let's see what we have in stock for Aquarius. I'll get you some more intel on what that joy brings into your life, that happiness. Okay, for your love life, we have 8 of Inspiration in reverse. We have High Priestess. Could be dealing with a Pisces. We have 2 of Emotions. Wow, soulmate energy here. Soulmate alert. For your career space, we have Knight of Inspiration. Beautiful. 5 of Materials. That's interesting. And Knight of Emotions. 2 Knights. Lots of movements, lots of ideas and desire to step up the game and go for it, take some risks. It's cool. The advice, we have 2 of Inspiration, 9 of Voices, and 6 of Emotions. Wow, another kind of soulmatey energy. That's cool. Not in this deck though. This one is a little bit different. It's calling more towards the inner child, if anything. Bottom of the deck, Muse of Materials. wow, this is music, or in this deck is the king equivalent, right? But it's not about the masculine energy as much, it's more about the top level um, implementation of the energy, or view of that energy, right? So yeah, and the materials, of course, are pentacles. So this is like the force that's driving all of this dynamic, all of this action, is this new level of knowledge and confidence in what you want to do in your life. And I mean in the physical. It can be about career and work, can be about building a home, starting a family, I don't know, maybe doing some travel, because that's also in the physical, taking care of family too, because materials are more of an, not more, they're the earth energy, right? So they're more of a feminine energy of like nurture, taking care. So that comes in as well, especially as we talk about it as a muse, right? So that's kind of like lies underneath as a premise, as a prerequisite to everything else that's going on here. Okay, let's see. We don't have much of the major arcana apart from this High Priestess that's in your energy, in your love situation, right? Everything else is Maya arcana, which means it's in your hands. It's something that you are creating right now. It's something that depends on you, right? So your choices are going to be of huge importance, right? You are creating your story. You're writing it basically, step by step, day in, day out, right? It's those little things that actually come to something huge and magical. So definitely there is someone in your life who I'm getting this, well, it's not even a soulmate vibe. The card is actually telling us this is a soulmate energy, right? It could be Pisces, could be just somebody who has water, a lot of water in their chart, right? But this person, you see that person as, well, as a muse actually, and as take gender how it resonates. It doesn't have to be a woman. I mean, just we're talking just about the opposite energy from you and whoever you might be in a relationship with, in love with, interested in, right? All of the above. So this is someone that you see as this highly spiritual, magical being, right? Somebody who has mystery. Like, look at that, like half of her face is covered. That person is mysterious. There's still a lot that you don't know or you don't understand about them. But that's part of the attraction element here, right? And another interesting part of it is the idea of inspiration in reverse. So this is movement this is about communication. In this deck, it's even more about movement forward. But this is in reverse. This is being delayed. This is even being suppressed, I'm getting. So there is an intuitive nudge to kind of go for it and embrace this soulmate connection. But there's also something in you that's stopping you from moving forward with it openly in public. So it remains like the whole thing was this mysterious face. The whole thing is kind of mystery. You see the moon here. It's like under the cover of the night, that kind of idea, right? Even if this person knows about your intentions, it's like there isn't much happening in terms of communicating about it out loud or doing something about it, right? It's that energy. Take it how it resonates for you. I see that you definitely, both of you, recognize the beautiful synergy between you two. Look at these two. They are basically twins, right? The same. For some, it will be a twin flame energy, but for a lot of you, look at the fish here too, right? For a lot, it's like, and look at this, like one person is upright, another person is upside down. It's like the two opposites that attracted, right? So we're the same, but we're also the opposites. Very interesting concept here in this card. So you both acknowledge the strengths of it, the depth of it, that there is something bigger than ourselves, right? It's not another fling, affair. It's not even somebody that my friends recommended for me or something like that, right? It's like there is like this invisible thread of connection between us, right? But it's more about energy and feelings at this point rather than communicating in the physical. Okay, for your career space, like I was saying, there is a lot of that fiery energy and desire to move forward. There is some sort of concern about finances, about not being able to see how it's gonna go long enough in the future, or it's not as good as you imagine. Like it's something like when you understand that it's not bad, it supports you, but whatever it is, right? Like whether it's money wise or title wise, right? Ambition wise, but it's not something that will suffice long term, right? Because either the plans you have in life for yourself require bigger resources, or maybe this title is only going to get you this far, or this company, right? And then you understand there's nowhere to go from there. So like you've reached your ceiling. Yeah, that's what I'm getting actually with this energy. It's like where you've been working so far, what you've been creating in your career and workspace, you've reached that ceiling. So it's not even that it's bad, but it's like you don't feel like you can really develop much from there, right? But there are these new bright ideas, right? I like this fireworks and this Knight of Wands, right? There's this drive, there's this passion of like, yeah, and we can do that and that and that, this vision on the vision level, right? Together with emotions around it. The Knights are like this kind of fiery energies that just want to go and do it, go and do it. It's about like making it there, right? Not necessarily always thinking it through or planning it, especially when it comes to these particular energies with emotions and inspiration here. As this in this particular deck, those suits I explained so well, right? Fire or wands become inspiration, and cups of water become emotions, right? So you have that fire and water energy. What I would say is that it's important to anchor those ideas into something more tangible. So if you decide to act on those right now, just be careful with still having a plan, with still thinking some sort of strategy through. And being an Aquarius, you're actually very good at strategic thinking, at the big picture thinking, right? Like make sure that your big picture comes down to a certain plan. Or at the very least, note down these ideas and mold them some more, like work with them, right? So that this Knight energy doesn't just get you just, acting before you think, or just rushing with something, or investing into something hastily because you have this bit of a tension here, energy about, not moving forward as quickly as you want or as much as you want, right? Like that can create that sense of urgency. Don't fall for it. That's the only thing I'm gonna mention here. Yeah, and then when it comes to the bigger picture, so we see some choice making, like seeing some long distance targets I'm getting. Take it how it resonates. It could be traveling afar, it could be about just seeing your life like a year from now. For some reason I'm getting that picture, like what will my life be a year from now? And you're almost like, you see this white, well, almost white slate, clean slate, right? And you're like starting mapping out what you want to see there, how you envision that. It's a very interesting advice actually. Yeah, there is a bit of an uneasiness. You might be experiencing lack of sleep or rest at this time. A lot going on, so it's important to kind of tend to yourself and your inner child needs actually, if you are able to, if you have some techniques, some ways, or at the very least if you don't have that vocabulary and those techniques, at the very least it's important to ground yourself and come back to inner peace any way you can, right? But the reason it's better to work with the inner child energy is because it's more lasting. If you're making that impact, if you're working with your inner child, if you're listening of what they need, if you're reparenting yourself basically in those kind of methods and techniques, right? So this means that has a longer vivacity, of that action, of that solution, right? Rather than, because you're going to the very core of your being, right? If we're using ISF terms, it will be working with your parts, right? Deeper psychology and psychoanalysis. If you're just covering the symptoms on the surface, it's not gonna last as long. It will save you for the day, maybe for a few days. Maybe if you're doing something really, really like deep, it's gonna be, or like relaxing, it might last a month, maybe. But it's still gonna come back, and the same triggers are gonna trigger you. That's the key thing, right? Because when you go to inner child, you're also doing that work on triggers and how to deal with those, why those things are bothering you, why are they causing restlessness and sleepless nights, right? But if you're just dealing with emotion on the surface, obviously you don't really get to the root cause of it, and it just lingers there. I do have a draft of my article on why rituals don't work. You just prompted me to finish it and post it in the next few days, so that there is a better so that there is an understanding of how healing works, and those things that you are advised to do by yourself, that you can do by yourself, why it's crucial to be able to do them by yourself. Okay, messages from your person of interest to yourself. Messages for Aquarius from their person of interest. I'm using the right away this time. It's just gonna be more of that intuitive messaging rather than, I used to use the Hermit Tarot deck a lot, but I feel like I've used it too much, like too often, and so I just want to do a bit different format, approach it in a different way. Look at this wonderful card. We have another Two of Wands, by the way, which was the same card as this one, right? So your person is basically saying to you, or confirming, that it's important that you make certain decisions for yourself of how you want to proceed, whether it's with them or just generally in your life, because you're on the crossroads and you have some big ass questions in front of you, you know. Like it's gonna determine not only like the nearest weeks, right, not only this month, but the foreseeable future. So be mindful of that, and take a minute to dive deeper into your inner desires for that. That's what I'm getting here. With this, we also see this manifestation journey that is kind of like slow movement with the Knight of Pentacles, but it's very accurate. And that's what the person is saying, that you are on the right track. You are in alignment with your divine path right now. So do not ignore any events, places or people that are coming into your attention right now, right? They all have their meaning there, right? It's important to accept, but also to acknowledge what that meaning could be, or at least acknowledge what is it giving you, what kind of feelings is it invoking, right? So it's important to be more of that slow moving knight, but doing it in a very highly vibrational and very conscious way, right? That's the magician who's conscious of the resources at his disposal and how they utilize them, right? So know what you're doing and why at any point in time. That will help you get where you want with the least amount of distraction or energy depletion. That wouldn't be worth it. Okay, I hope this was good for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys. And yeah, please don't forget to like the video, subscribe and share. And of course, this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, so don't forget to check readings for other placements.